This week we're going to highlight a bit of a late season weather market that's developed across Brazilian corn. We're also going to talk about a sluggish start to the U.S. corn planting pace here in the U.S. and take a look at short-term weather trends. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved into the final few days of April here, and once again this market remains historically volatile. Part of that volatility is linked to what's happening in South America, specifically a late season weather scare that's developed in Brazil. Let's take a look at where that corn production is produced in Brazil. Now we're looking at four key states here in Brazil. Mato Grosso is by far the dominant state there in the north, about 43% of the second season corn production. Goiás, Paraná, and as far south as Mato Grosso do Sul. Between those four states, it accounts for nearly 80% of the Brazilian second season corn production. Let's now take a look at precipitation here during the month of April for that key state of Mato Grosso. Why is April so important? It's typically the key month for pollination in Mato Grosso. You can see here as the month has progressed, it's gotten drier. This is one of the drier months here in April we've seen in recent years. The only year that's been drier was back in 2016, so that's caught the market's attention. Now let's take a look at the next 2 weeks as more of that corn pollinates in Brazil. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. And we're looking at the next 14 days. Again, this is towards the latter half of pollination, but still important, and the critical grain fill period here in late April and into May. Next 2 weeks, you can see it pretty much dry across that entire area, north to south. So not an ideal finish for that corn. Let's take a look at one more slide, though, that gives us a longer term perspective. Now, we're comparing this slide, Brazil precipitation, over the last 30 days. Notice in 2021, the red line, much drier. Over half the crop was very dry. Notice in 2022, though, the dark blue line, barely over 25% of the crop is very dry. Here's the key message. More of the crop in the south has gotten moisture, even though Mato Grosso is dried out. Plus, over the last 30 days, the crop is in much better shape than the previous year. Let's move forward now and highlight planting progress here in the U.S. We're going to start out looking at our nationwide map. Now, as usual here, we're looking at all the states here this year versus this week versus last week, last year, and the 5-year average. We're at 7% here nationwide compared to 16% last year and 15% for the 5-year average. Looking at some history here, looking at the next 2 weeks from April 24th to May 8th, about 35% of the corn crop is planted nationwide. That would bring us to about 50% nationwide on average as of the first week in May. Will we reach that level? Of course, that'll be directly linked to the weather. Let's take a look at the short-term weather forecast. We're going to start out here looking at the last 14 days. Notice in the west it's dry. As we move further east, however, it's moist, for lack of a better word. And as we move further north in that northern plains with the wake of the blizzards up there, it's excessively wet. Now we're looking at a pattern here from April 28th to May 8th, a divergent pattern. The further north we go, it's cool, where the further south, it's mild. Now we look at the short-term pattern, Wednesday night through Thursday. We're looking at some development of some rainfall here across southern 3/4 of Illinois, Missouri, eastern half of Kansas. Now we're going to stretch that into Friday, into Monday, and the rain is coming back, it looks like. Those pink areas are 1.25 to 2.5 inches of rain. More rain in the heart of the Corn Belt and more rain in the northern plains. So we'll have to see if this forecast realizes, but could be some planting challenges in those areas. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in December corn futures. We'll continue to highlight this throughout the growing season with December corn near $7.40 a bushel. That's the highest price ever for late April. So we continue to strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.